Moving on. This next one comes from Not Big Tony Style. He says, I want to get right to it. In the past year and a half or so, I've dedicated a good portion of my gaming to my backlog. I have beaten the following games: Resident Evil, Mega Man 1 through 6, Grim Fandango, Knights of the Old Republic, Final Fantasy VII, Journey, Limbo, Super Metroid, Zelda 1 and 2, and Earthbound.
Oh, that's just the best
like
year.
Just like the greatest time.
Some still in my backlog are Metal Gear Solids 1, 4, and 5, the whole Monkey Island series, Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasies 6, 9, and 12, Resident Evil 4, Shadow of the Colossus, and Skyward Sword.
You're going to have the best year.
Yeah, so my question is this. What is GameScoop's experience with backlogs? How do you go about crossing things off? One game a year, a handful? I have so much left to play that I feel overwhelmed. This leads me to not enjoying the game I'm currently playing because I'm thinking about the next one on my list. I also feel guilt if I use guides or walkthroughs. If I don't, then I feel even more overwhelmed because it will take me longer. I guess my dilemma is this. Use walkthroughs and guides, which means I beat more games.
The older they get, it's okay.
Play less games and get the satisfaction that I did it on my own.
Yeah.
All right, well, all three of us in this area of the room.
Really briefly, it's not Big Tony Style, or it is?
He said it's not Big Tony Style.
That's the name of the person.
He did not give me his actual name. He just wanted us to know this is not Big Tony Style.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
All right, sorry, Jerry.
No, don't be sorry at all. You're there in the end. You got to jump in when you can.
Now, can you read the whole thing again? Because I was just...
No, so all three of us here, we'll try to help with the guild, started our careers writing guides, and some of us still do it. So don't feel guilty because you're feeding us when you use a guide. You're helping us stay employed and fit.
What I want to remind not Big Tony Style of is that we play games to have fun and enjoy ourselves. So if it's not fun, like it's not working.
Yeah.
Don't ever. Like, you're not obligated to play any game, so if a game is feeling like a chore or a grind, like, put it away and play something else that sounds like fun.
Totally.
And it's fine. Like,
or if a guide can get you over that hump.
Or, sure.
Especially for really old games, which, if you're going to get in those Monkey Island games, especially, there's leaps of logic that were, like, made for a different time.
Totally. Yeah.
And you can totally look up
even
stuff
Grim Fandango, honestly.
Yeah, Grim Fandango.
Totally.
Those games were made for a time when you didn't buy as many games a year.
Yeah.
So you would buy the new Monkey Island game, and that'd be your game for like 6 months, and you would you'd spend like a whole week trying to solve one puzzle.
And you confer with others on how to try to figure out the beauty pageant puzzle in Day of the Tentacle. Just no one should have to solve that without a
really
guide.
tough.
It shouldn't be that.
I think your backlog sounds reasonable though in the way that a lot of the games are relatively short. And I think that's one way if your backlog's overwhelming is focus on some smaller things. Like you can beat Journey in a single setting. A lot of those Super Nintendo games, even the RPGs are like Earthbound and Super Metroid are relatively short compared to modern standards. My big problem with my major backlog is that I play all the short games, and so my backlog is like Mass Effect, Skyrim,
big games,
Fallout, stuff like that. And luckily, finally, I'm starting Mass Effect for a feature series, so I'm going to play through that for the first time. But I had a certain point where I'm like, I'd like to go back and play more Witcher or more Dragon Age Inquisition, but I'm just like, I'm probably not.
Well, I mean, you don't have to finish. That's the other part. I like to play games a lot, but I don't finish a lot of them. I even a lot of big games, I don't finish them. Yeah. I play them, I enjoy them, and then sometimes I'll play something else now because, just like you said earlier, fun's the point. And if I'm like, I'm ready to do something else, then I go on and play something else. What about you, Sam? What do you do with your backlog?
Well, one of the games on this list that I was just thinking about that I recently tried to go back and play was Earthbound, and I wasn't really having fun with it, but I then realized that it came with a strategy guide.
Yep.
And
that
strategy guide
is like this big.
Yeah, it's not really a strategy guide, and you can just get a PDF version of it. But it's actually like a bunch of extra information about the game. Some stuff that the game doesn't tell you very well, but then also stuff that's just like what names of places and things and the city and stuff. So like when you play that game, it's really fun to actually get in the context of like what that game, how it was meant to be played.
Yeah.
That's just like, it's kind of a book game experience.
No, totally. It's like one of the most creative like strategy guides because it's all like a travel guide.
Yes.
And it has all like the monsters on the side, these really like gorgeous clay sculptures of them.
And old adventure games used to come with feelies.
Yep.
A similar idea. Well, feelies are more like a coin or something that come with it. But you know, like I remember getting like a Zork anthology that just had like every map for every game and like a thick book of like backstory and stuff like that. I really like that. I think it's cool.
What's a Feely?
A Feely, they were like these pack-ins that were designed, like if you got something like A Mind Forever Voyaging, it would have like pens from the lab that you worked in, and
it's basically special edition stuff that they have now. We just don't call it that anymore. And the reason they did it was because of rampant piracy.
Yeah.
So if you got the game, you'd get like really cool collectible set
awesome.
and a bunch of printed out stuff.
Yeah, they got Infocom was really good at those. They'd have fake magazines and stuff like ads and things like that for the setting you read. It was great. And the other Working Designs was always great at stuff like that too. Their stuff always came packed with crazy stuff.
I always liked the adventure games that it would include stuff that you had to reference to solve puzzles. Like some of the Lucas.
Go to page 3. Look up the 5th word and type it in.
Yeah, and even like the original Metal Gear Solid has that. There's a codec on the back of the box.
Yeah, and Metal Gear 2 is the same way. The original Japanese.
I always read about that, but how does it indicate that in game? Does it say to look at the?
I don't remember.
I don't know if it ever says that. I think it's one of those things where if you look, you're like, oh, I should type in this number and see what happens. And you
okay.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Don't stress out about it not Big Tony style.
Yeah.
Video games are supposed to be fun.
And if you are a Big Tony style, that was a very rude trick you played on us.
One small tip that you can do is bring them into the office and play them on your lunch break. That's what we do here. I have like an old CRT TV, and sometimes we were just playing Bionic Commando.
And
week before that,
Banjo-Kazooie.